implementing the recommendations of the committee.
Yeah.
Nothing has been said. Now, if you pay attention to what's happening in the space, there were rumors yesterday that boxing has been suspended.
Yes, I even
All
saw.
boxing related
Yes, I saw quote cards
have been suspended as at yesterday. But before close of day yesterday, the NSA boss himself, standing by Haiti Powers, or standing with Haiti Powers, made some bold calls. He said we should ignore the fake news around boxing, and that the communication that boxing has been suspended is not so. If you have the voice, we can. Well, let's hear from the NSA boss himself.
Okay, so what we'll hear from Mr. Ampafuankra, who's the NSA boss. And apologies for the audio quality. The recording is a little hollow.
Yeah,
it was done in a hollow room. It didn't have all the trappings of a proper recording. But if you can make sense of this, or if you can hear it, I think it's audible enough. Let's hear from the NSA boss, Ampafuankra.
Okay, so today is Wednesday, and there's a lot of news circulating about the ban on Ghana boxing. What we're saying is that we cannot continue what we've been doing in the past. Boxing has to go through the reset. But the fake news that boxing has been banned or all boxing has stopped, that is not the case. The NSA is working with stakeholders to ensure that boxing is right back on the right path. The reset is definitely on, and we'll keep you posted. But ignore those fake news that is out there, and let's focus. This man just came to my office crying that his promotion is off, and I told him not to cry.
Sporty
what we have to go through to put boxing back on track. Those who want to go through the reset, join us to clean up Ghana boxing. And Powers is one of those who has come to my office this evening, this late hour, to plead. But we're not doing it just for Haiti Powers. We're doing it for the entire boxing ecosystem. Those who want us to clean up boxing, for the reset, to do the right thing, come and join us as we do that. Powers.
Like the director said, Charlie, the news we have been hearing that ban boxing, it's not like that. So very soon, the correct news will come out.
I thought you said you were going to speak
All right, so that was the NSA boss, the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Mr. Ampafuankra, saying that, okay, nowhere has it been said that boxing activities have been banned. He says that the reset is on. There are still engagements with stakeholders, and that the reset is on.
Yeah,
and that the overall aim or the overall goal is that boxing will be in a good place.
Right. Now, Nathan, as we speak.
But I wonder where the news came from that boxing had been, because I also saw quote cards.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. So
as we
could it be that he said something and it was misunderstood?
Possibly so.
Or he didn't say anything anyway?
Well, possibly so. But on the 27th of September, 2025, at the Bukum Boxing Arena.
Yes.
Haiti Powers Boxing Promotions, in collaboration with Casapreco Company Limited.
Haiti Powers.
Yes.
He has
a promotion coming up. He has a boxing night coming up on the 27th of September 2025. So you have Africanos, aka Africa, versus Kwe, aka High Tension. That's the main bout.
Africanos, aka
Yes.
Africa,
Yes.
versus Kwe,
aka High Tension.
I've seen some.
They will be fighting this weekend.
I've seen some videos where the two boxers are trash talking each other.
Yeah, Nathan. There's a fight going to happen this weekend. Amidst all the issues that we are trying to deal with, we are still going ahead with boxing promotions. It's almost as if we feel it has to be business as usual. We feel, oh, well, nobody died in the ring, and so, yeah, let's continue the business of boxing. But the question you would ask is, what group of people sanctioned this fight?
This is Sporty FM, the voice of
Yeah.
What group of people sanctioned this fight? Is it the same Roger Bano-led board? Or, you understand? You ask all these questions because, as far as we are concerned, the tenure expired months ago.
Yes.
So, why are they still in office? And why are they still steering the affairs of Ghana boxing? With all the things we've heard, all the things that have happened, it's shocking that we are not bothered. The NSA boss is confident enough to tell us, well, he's not suspended all boxing activities because Aite Paris has come to his office late in the night to complain about his boxing promotion being in limbo because of what the fake news. In fact, he calls it fake news. But Nathan, it's not as if somebody is just trying to derail a certain process or just trying to prevent Ghana boxing from happening or promoters from having their promotions. The fact of the matter is that there are a lot of things that have to be done in that space for the safety of the key actors.
Mm-hmm.
And the safety of the key actors is what is important here. And that is why a lot of people are not comfortable with the status quo ante. As we speak, Nathan, things are not happening as you'd expect. Best practices are not being adhered to. And we cannot continue like that. And that's why I'm saying, look, can we just pause? Can we just halt all of these promotions, all of these Judgment Day promotions, prove the Monaco promotions? You know this fight this weekend?
Sporty FM.
It's called Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day this weekend.
Hey, where do they get these names? Well,
Judgment Day.
boxing events have very interesting names.
Judgment Day.
Boxing events have very, very, very interesting names.
It's time to prove the Monaco.
Yeah.
Night of Moonshine.
It's true. I went to one. It was called Yabi Onye.
No, you see?
How?
No, you see, Nathan, all of these ones are happening. We are saying, now look, let's just take a break. Clean up the system. Put in place a lot more safety measures to help grow the sport in a different direction. Look, this promotion that they are going to fight, this Judgment Day,
Yeah.
you are definitely going to find a couple of Achiak Beshi fights in there. You are definitely going to find them in there.
Maybe an Ajay
All of them
is part of the. It's part of the architecture.
It's part of the architecture. You definitely
Part
going
of
to
the
find all of those
furniture.
ones in there.
So when we organize, then we have to spice
You
it.
have to spice it. You know, all of these things will go. And we are saying, now look, it doesn't help the sport. And there's a bite in there's a bout in there. One bullet versus Wheezy.
Charlie, now Kwame, are you listening to the names of the boxers?
One bullet.
One bullet versus Wheezy.
They call him Oyomo. One bullet is nickname is Oyomo.
Oyomo. I mean, listeners, for those who don't understand, when you say Oyomo, it's like you regularly beat people, or you beat people often.
Yeah. You know, Nathan, I mean, you see, what the Bukum Boxing Emporium is what we consider the mecca of
Yes. That's where.
So you definitely get a lot of boxers, upcoming boxers who are there and about, you know,
wanting to fight at the arena. That's okay.
You'd always
There's
get
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
You'd always get that. And it would give birth to promoters wanting to promote some of these area fights or street fights. Okay, all of those things will happen. But if those things have to happen, it has to be done in a very professional way, because that is professional boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember amateur boxers? The amateur boxing league was supposed to have started a few months ago, but because of the Olarin Waju issues and all,
Yes.
it's been put on ice.
Okay.
At this point, the amateur boxing league is on hold because they have to find a way to fine-tune everything.
Yeah.
Just to make sure the safety of the boxers is assured. At the professional level, where we are hearing all sorts of things, people having issues and all with health-related matters, and saying that what the committee has recommended, we cannot overlook it.
Okay.
That boxing, that medical committee or that medical commission has to be established.
It has to be in place.
I mean,
okay, Ray. You know what? This week we had been calling the NSA to get a response. Fortunately, my producers have been able to get Mr. Yampo Franca for us on the line. So let's touch base with Yampo Franca. Then we can ask him all the questions we want to ask him, and then we get all the answers, and then we can move the conversation on. Yeah. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast.
Hi, Nathan. Good morning.
How are you doing, Yao?
I'm doing pretty well. Lack of sleep, but that's okay. It's normal.
Well, I guess it comes with the territory. Heavy is the head.
Yes.
Great, Yao. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I'm sure you've heard the news of the passing of Ernest Akushe, the boxer and all. Just your initial thoughts on that, and then we can dive into the larger boxing conversation.
Yes, thank you. I just, parked to talk to you guys out of respect. I had, said I wouldn't talk until we release an official statement, but I think it's important, especially when there's a lot of misinformation out there. So, yeah, very unfortunate, very sad. We're all saddened by the passing of the boxer and a colorful figure in his community and, in the Ghana boxing ecosystem. And whilst we await the autopsy or official autopsy, I've always said that we should remain calm and we should get, the right information out there so that we don't exacerbate whatever problems exist already. There's so much out there on social media. If you're not careful, you'll be drawn into this, battle to get news out there, regardless of whether or not it's true or is fake. So we're just appealing for calm at the moment and allow the family of the late boxer to mourn and to also prepare for his funeral.
You mentioned the issues with Ghana boxing. Where are we now? I do know that your entity, the NSA, was giving a mandate by the sports minister to try and bring a reset, implement the recommendations by the the recommendations from the committee set up after Olanrewaju died. Where are we with that? Where are we with the recommendations? What's the status of all the things that were prescribed?
Thank you again. I mean, it's a huge opportunity to reset. That word perhaps has been overused, but it's important to state that it's a process. I keep saying this because looking at the extent of work that must be done, if we rush into it in a few years' time, yourself, myself, that they'll be asking questions. Why didn't you take your time and do a thorough work? Why were you not patient with such an important task? And we know that people would want answers, the boxing ecosystem, the media, all stakeholders. But we also know that if we don't do the right thing and take our time and thoroughly put things in place, the foundation, this is a sport that has given Ghana so much over the past decades. Surely we can't turn things around in a few months or a few weeks. It's a process. And thankfully, the process has been ongoing. I mean, it's important to mention that the reform of the GBA has always been key, to the implementation of the recommendations, as you said, that was set up a few months ago. The death of the Nigerian boxer, Olusegun, was a tragic event. But beyond that, there were issues that perhaps were swept under the carpet, and that was a catalyst to say, look, let's do things right. So the said reform process has already begun, but it's because we've not put it out there every single day or every week. Perhaps now is the time to give regular updates. And I'll be the first to admit that may have been or is a shortcoming. Beyond that, work has been ongoing. And so far, I can tell you the new Secretary General for the GBA has been appointed to make sure that administratively, just to give you a quick example, their website is off, their email system. He must be in charge officially of all the official communications. You might think, well, this is very simple, but mind you, this is an authority that has been in place for years with a similar problem, and we need to address it from down upwards. So we've done that. We've engaged in educative programs, stakeholders engagements with past boxers, promoters, investors. We've talked to a lot of people so that we don't, in isolation, just presume that it was because of the Nigerian boxers' death. That is why we're having this, change. Sponsors, investors, promoters, as I said, trainers, coaches, matchmakers, they all need to understand why we have to go in this direction in staying in line with the recommendations of the committee.
Okay.
And then we decided for the long term, when a new president comes, he or perhaps she would need to have something to work with. And so that 5-year draft development plan has been completed, and it was due to be rolled out just before the Ghana versus Mali game. But we decided to hold on until after that match. And then unfortunately, this tragedy has also occurred. But it's important to also state that so far, the medical reports available, as I've been in touch with the doctor, is that the boxer was diagnosed with malaria. But we need to wait for the post-mortem officially to be done and find out what was the cause of his death. That is why the NSA have asked the acting GBA president and his team to submit that report. We go through the processes and ensure that the pre-bout protocols, everything before, during, and after the fight was done. And then we can be better informed to make a statement. The only statement that has come from the NSA is to console with the family and the boxing community, and also to ask for some respect and restraint. So any other statement should be ignored. We will do that once we have enough information to inform the general public and the media.
Okay, I'm here with my colleague Raymond Yamado. He wants to ask a question, so the next voice you hear will be Raymond's voice.
Sure, that's fine.
Yes.
DG, I'm sure you are very conversant with the recommendations of the committee.
Right.
So, in the recommendations of the committee, the NSA was supposed to constitute an entity that was to steer the affairs of Ghana boxing until elections are held. And the timelines given in the report was 6 months. And since that report was submitted to the minister, and since the ministry issued a letter accepting the recommendations, it's been 4 months already. How many more months would the NSA need to set up that interim body to steer the affairs of Ghana boxing?
It's a very good question. I even said it would be done in 2 months until I got on the ground. It's very easy to say that should have been a goal, but when you get on the pitch and you find that the goalpost is not as big as you thought, then you'd have to change your tactics. And to be honest, we've been humbled by the state of, or should I say, the poor state of boxing. And we've got to be very honest that, look, this is not a job that should be rushed. I've said this several times. One of the worst things we would do is to rush into a work that should take us time and get the right people involved. And with their kind permission, Ambassador Makai Amatifio, whom we've been in constant touch with, giving him updates because he's also been concerned. And Azuma Nelson, Samir Kaptan, Dr. Eric Tete, these are gentlemen that have been helping us behind the scenes to make sure that when we do finally conclude with this repair work, we are in a good place. Representation of the various boxing stakeholders. The Congress will be held before December. That has been the target. So what we're doing behind the scenes will shorten the processes. as I said to Nathan, the work that has been done behind the scenes is so much. We're very proud of it. At the right time, we'll let all stakeholders know exactly what has been done. The stakeholders' engagement, to the fact that some boxers would tell you that there's no need for them to do, pre-bout, a test, because they're fit, they're fine, they're strong. You need to understand that we're dealing with an ecosystem that for long has been denied of the nutrients it needs to grow naturally. We've been fooled by the successes of some great boxers. I don't need to mention all of them. Azuma Nelson, Ikote, the list. So we've assumed that all is well, all is not well. When you look down deeper, and I would definitely invite you and Nathan to just take a tour with us to one of the gyms, and I'll share the copy of the reports that we've concluded and the 5-year development plan. And then you would understand that, okay, we get it. But in so doing, we're also open to input, criticism, and suggestions, which we've done over the months. It's just that we've kept it on the low because of the extent of work that has to be done. So there's work ongoing, there's work that has been done, and there's more work to be done. I can assure you of that.
Gigi, whilst work is ongoing and whilst work is to be done, we know that per the committee's report again, what they said in clear terms was that the current GBA, as presently constituted, cannot effectively organize, promote, or administer the affairs of professional boxing in Ghana. As we speak, why are we still allowing the interim board to steer the affairs of professional boxing in Ghana? Because really, all of them were part of the Nikwe-led administration. Most of them were part of the Nikwe-led administration that brought us to this point. Why are they still in charge of Ghana boxing, and why are we still having bouts consistently, week in, week out? Even this weekend, we are expecting another boxing bout. Why is it that we've not fixed the structure? We are still trying to do repair works, but we are still engaging in boxing.
So, as I indicated, as part of the rollout plan, all promotions were put on hold initially, and of course, we were able to get a lot of information in. And promotions have been put on hold. However, the current acting GBA executive board, most of whom were not part of the Kote Nikwe administration, they had either stepped aside or resigned due to various reasons, were brought in to shadow the administrator who's taken over the administration of boxing and collating all the necessary information. So case by case, these bouts were brought to our notice, and as and when we felt this was right to do, the bouts went ahead. But I must tell you that in the current state that we find ourselves, all bouts have been put on hold. The statement that came out initially to indicate this process, we will update it later today after we've met with other stakeholders, because we're waiting for the report from the medical team. But I can assure you that everything that has to be done before bouts, during and after has been done. It is cleared before these fights are held. However, if things have been left unnoticed, the medical team that has been on ground since we started this process will submit those information, even the past fights. Go back and check that everything was done well. Documentations have been asked to be submitted to the National Sports Authority, and we're waiting for all of that to be done. So trust me, you can rest assured we're doing the right thing, and the process, as I said, is ongoing.
Nathan here, just staying with the running of professional boxing or all of these things. I know that on the 19th of July, you gave a 1-month extension to the interim committee. Am I right?
Yes, we did.
Yes. So 19th of July, so I would assume that by 19th or the 20th of August, that 1-month extension should have expired. But I still see that Mezes, Roger Bano, and many others are still running Ghana boxing in the interim. I'm curious, did you give them another extension? Because I want to assume that all they are doing is steeped in some kind of power or backing, or they have some kind of authority to work. So did you give them another extension so they could continue their work because they are still working? I just want to know on which basis.
No, they're in the final phases of handing over all the administrative documentations. As I said, a new Secretary General for the GBA has been put in place. There was none over the past 2 years because of infractions by the previous president. And he gave us that advice that, look, the extent of work that has to be done, we have to take our time. Documentation, accounts, a lot of things, registration. So let us not rush into it. So he is actually in charge. They've not been in charge since that extension ended. They wrote to us for another extension, which we declined. And indeed, the process of announcing the final processes for the next 2 months were just about to be, made public before the Ghana versus Mali game, as I said. And unfortunately, this incident also occurred.
Okay, okay. So I think that brings clarity. So finally on this, I wanted to ask you something about the Baba Yara Stadium. So finally on boxing, before we move on to that one, do you have an idea of a timeline, or you're taking it on a day-to-day as you get through the process? Do you have an idea of when you think this reform will be done completely so we can properly situate Ghana boxing in the right context and on the right pillars?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, once the team is announced later this week, we had an extensive meeting with the Honourable Minister last night. It went on for some time with the medical team. It is important. They've also drafted a document which would allow us to have a new commission for a medical procedure before, during, and after fights. And actually, this will be extended to all sporting activities, hand in hand with the anti-doping agency. So it is extensive, but of course, the picking of nomination forms should be done before the first week of November. Between now and then, the vetting of the committee, the workshop, announcement of qualified candidates, presentation and review of preliminary committee reports, the workshop again finalizing the 5-year development plan to be released, and then the presentation of the committee's final report, and then the Congress elections, dissolution of the GBA shadow team that will be helping the NSA team, and then of course the executive board before the 26th of December. That is the plan we've rolled out. So most of the work, Nathan, has been done on the quiet, and this was done deliberately in order for the team members to have the time and space to do a lot of investigations, and also bear in mind the directions of the recommendations. It has a lot of work has been done, and as I said, I will share those documents with you, and I'm sure on your show you would educate and share it with your audience, the extent of work that has been done by these gentlemen.
Okay. Finally for me, Raymond has a question, but finally for me, can you just give us a confirmation? So is the Ayite Powers promotion coming? Is it happening or not this weekend?
If an official statement will be released, I think it wouldn't be fair to announce it on this platform, as respectful as it is, because what we asked for the GBA was to present their reports, and then we've also had consultations with the sports minister. We're concluding this morning, and the announcement would officially be made, and I'll make sure that you'll be one of the first agencies to get the official news. But ignore any other information that has been put out there. The NSA would release that information later today.
Okay, one final one from Raymond on boxing, and then we proceed.
DG, still on the recommendations of the committee and some of the issues in there, it is quite clear that what is most important, as per the recommendations, is the establishment of a medical commission. And the medical commission do have a lot to do as far as pre-bout, in-bout, and post-bout medicals are in terms of dealing with all of those issues. That is the main focus of that medical commission. As we speak, we've seen a lot of bouts being held already. Have all these bouts been held thanks to the clearance or approval from a medical commission?
So a key feature of, the engagements the NSA's had in consultation with the ringside medical and safety experts. They have thankfully finalized a comprehensive boxing medical and safety protocol. It's a manual that has, been aligned with what has happened in the past, lessons learned, and of course, this Dr. Eric Tete, he's an accredited physician and an expert. International standards will be adapted, and in this time, he has been slowly imbibing some of these in the fights. He's one man. He needs assistance. He needs support. He needs expertise. We need to train others to be able to withstand the pressure, the load, and the competitive nature of the boxing ecosystem in Ghana. But I'm confident that he has done that so far. The next step, obviously, is to make sure these young men and women are taken through the next level of professional boxing, system, so that they can come back and do the work appropriately. That has been a weakness, and you would have to admit one man cannot do all of this. So referee training, official safety training, manual post-bout care, suspension protocols. Surely we need a team, a robust team, a qualified team, a trained team. And it's difficult. We need to admit that, look, we're not where we think we are. That's one of the biggest challenges we have faced when we try to explain, to convince, and to educate the stakeholders how Ghana is a boxing nation. Well, Ghana might have been a boxing nation, but if we want to go strictly by what is on the ground, the reality, the facts, I don't think anybody would say that. Not to disrespect our great legacy and history, but we have to do the painful things. It's not pleasant, it's painful, it's difficult, it's hard, it's tough. Someone has to do it, and we're doing it. So I think what we need to do is to have more education, so that when we address this, we know that it's not about just checking boxes before bouts or making sure that they're okay. It's far deeper than that. All the gymnasiums that we have been to, they need to be upgraded. They need to be relicensed. It's a process. And thankfully, I can confidently say that we're on course with that process.
Finally, you talk about Dr. Eric Tete. Dr. Eric Tete. He's the man currently in charge of medical issues as far as GB is concerned. Is that correct?
He's assisting with the process.
Assisting with the process. Is it, because Dr. Eric Tete, the committee speaks about Dr. Eric Tete in the committee report.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, about not having completed his housemanship and not fit to occupy the role as a ringside physician or a doctor for the Ghana Boxing Authority. That is in the report.
Yes.
So why is he the same person assisting the process? Why are we not going for the recognized or the doctors who are fit to occupy those positions?
That's exactly it. So he's working with an international body. That's why I'm saying that this documentation by this body will be released in due course. In due course means any moment from now. It's been submitted. We've looked through, and it will be released. So all these questions and all these relevant positions you're holding, we will deal with it. We are dealing with it, and the process, as I keep saying, is ongoing. Just be patient, and when the information comes out, you'd understand exactly why we've taken the step we have.
Finally, touch wood. If there's a boxing bout this weekend, and touch wood, medically, something goes wrong, do we now revisit this conversation again?
Well, the conversation has never stopped. I think you need to be clear. If you're talking about the media, then of course the media conversation, as and when the headlines come, it will be dealt with. But where we sit, we've never stopped this conversation. We've never put it on hold. Just as we've never put on hold the challenges of our stadia. Currently, we only have one fit for the highest category of football. That conversation has not stopped. The challenges of, grassroots sports development, the challenges of having coaches in the regions to help unearth talent. It's a whole plethora of discussions that haven't stopped, but it is step by step. It is a process, and I appreciate your concerns and your relevant questions. And this is the kind of dialogue we should have: factual, informative, and also educative. So if you would spare us, the information or the additional information you need will be released in due course. Very soon.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, thank you. Nathan here once again. Just let's talk a bit about the Yara Stadium. What's the status of the facility? I saw quotes attributed to you. I've seen a response from Ghanaian rap star Michael Owusu-Addo, aka Sarko. They're talking about the playing surface and all. So my first question, what's the status of the Yara Stadium? Where are we with renovation works or rehab works or getting the stadium to be fit for football once again?
I think with the pitch, I'm going to use that word again, the process where we've reached is that we need to plant a new layer of grass to strengthen the existing one. You would remember that the pitch was in a terrible state. It was resuscitated, rehabilitated to a point. But there's one thing having green grass, it's another having strong grass that you'll be able to play consistently on without actually destroying the grass just after one game. That is 80% done. Now we need to strengthen that to ensure that it becomes more robust to withstand the Ghana Premier League and indeed any other matches that will be played there. The other infrastructural work, the safety zone, the upgrade of the dressing rooms, sanitation, or should I say drainage, all these are currently being worked on as we speak. And as I keep saying, I think the updates would allow us to see that a lot of work has gone on. I think we've been, and I stand accused of that as well, a bit fixated in the past with having every single detail put out there every single minute, every single day. That is the demands of current media trends and social media. But we also have to work steadily and work right so that when we do give out the information, it's accurate and it serves the purpose for which we've been, asked to do that. So work is ongoing. I'm very pleased with the new Ashanti regional director. She's done a fantastic job under immense pressure from the ecosystem in Kumasi, or should I say Ashanti. Very demanding, constantly on her head, but she's kept her poise and calm, and she's worked remarkably well. And hopefully, again, in the next few weeks, we'll be able to, share some very good news about the Yara Sports Stadium.
All right, we keep our fingers crossed to hear all of that. Bayal, thank you so much for taking time off to speak with us this morning. Really appreciate it. All the best as you try to get Ghana boxing to undergo the reset, and we really appreciate any info that will be very helpful for us and for our listeners. So please, we'll keep the lines open, and we'll appreciate any updates as and when they do come up.
I appreciate your work, and thanks to your team for your support as well. My doors are always open. Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you so much. That was Paul Frankra, DG of the NSA, answering some of our burning questions. If he were in studio, we would have loved it. But anyway, he gave us, 15, 20 minutes of his time as he was driving to work. Yeah. So we'll take that.
Well, Nathan, for me, I'm still left with a lot more questions than
I agree. I agree.
Yara talks about time. Yes, we can't rush things. Yes, but in the wisdom of the committee, 6 months to fix things is reasonable.
Yeah,
it's reasonably fair.
He did say time. Though he did mention a few markers of time, right? He did say nomination sometime in November. I heard him say sometime December.
Yeah, you see, Nathan, the real issues are not conducting elections.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about...
Yeah, I mean, those are not the real issues, okay? The real issues border on what has to be done.
Yes, and yeah.
What has to be done before whoever comes in as president. Yes. Almost like we had a normalization committee for football. Put together the statutes, looked at everything.
The election is usually...
The election was just
at the end. Yes.
So whoever comes in would work with the statutes that are approved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the committee's work. The committee says in 6 months, you have to look at what you have to do. Implementation of the recommendations itself. You look at the constitution of the GBA. You look at what needs to be done in terms of the medical commission and what the medical commission has to do. All clearly spelled out. And then the elections will become the last bit. So the election now becomes a byproduct of everything that has happened. Okay. As we speak, honestly, Nathan, And I would talk about we don't have to rush things. But not a single recommendation of the committee, not a single one, has been implemented. Look, part of the work of the committee is to revoke the license of all these boxers, do a proper and thorough medical examination, put together
Sporty
a licensing regime with clear standards, okay, that boxers have to meet. And then you look at officiating as well.
Yes.
All officials, you look at the procedures of licensing.
Very good.
You look at matchmakers, promoters, all of them fall within that bracket.
They are another part of this. They need to look at them, matchmakers and promoters.
Then you come to the appointment of ringside physicians and all of those things are within the body of work that interim body have to do. And then the establishment of that medical commission. Nathan, to be fair, we are still having boxing bouts. Nobody knows exactly what those boxers have gone through in terms of all of these procedures.
Very good.
And even awarding of licenses and all. All of these things haven't been done. And that is why we say, look, we are not seeing anything being done as far as the recommendation. Yao says work is being done behind the scenes. But the work being done behind the scenes, is it being done by a normalization committee or that interim committee that the recommendation, that the committee recommended? You see, and that's why, I didn't want to have any, back and forth, because these are the real issues. That committee that's working behind the scenes,
are they
the interim body that the committee recommended be put in place to steer the affairs of Ghana boxing and then come up with some of these things? But talks about the 5-year development plan. Nathan, the 5-year development plan and the recommendations, they are on parallel lines. Nobody asked for a 5-year development plan. If that is how you want to steer the affairs of boxing, fair. But it's first things first. Yeah. You fix the foundation, and then before you put that 5-year development plan on it. So, I mean, in terms of the work that the NSA has done, I don't know if the appointment of Patrick Johnson clearly, solves the problem. Okay, I don't know if the appointment of Patrick Johnson is supposed to be the panacea to the problems that we've spoken about. Because, I mean, Nikwe had a general secretary. Nikwe had an acting general secretary who also testified before the committee.
Really? Who was that? This was after Johnson.
Yes, before
was put aside.
After the NSA actually appointed.
Yes. I think by law, the general secretaries of the sporting entities come from the NSA.
Right. So initially they had a general secretary who was on secondment from the NSA. Okay, but I think he was not really at post. Yes. So, Ernestina Kusi
Sporty FM
was the seconded general secretary from the NSA. But because of prolonged absence, Aaron Mimi Brown Daddy, I don't know if she works with the NSA or not, but she testified before the committee as acting general secretary of the GBA. So it's not as if the GBA existed without a general secretary or an acting general secretary.
There was somebody in that capacity.
I don't know if the appointment of Patrick Johnson cures or satisfies the recommendation of an interim board to steer the affairs of the GBA, because he's coming from the NSA. You understand where I'm coming from? So, I mean, there are lots of challenges. In fact, last time we spoke, it was clear that after the extension of tenure of office for the Vice President, Roger Bano, and his board, we're going to see new faces take over and form that normalization committee and steer the affairs. But Nathan, it's not happening. That's why I asked the question. Now, look, Nathan, nobody's hoping that anything bad happens. Okay? But should Aite Power's promotion go on this weekend? Should anything happen on the medical front? Touch wood. Should anything else happen that makes people feel uncomfortable, that causes pain or drama? Do we now revisit this conversation again and ask what should have been done, what shouldn't have been done, what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened? And because of all of this, some of us think that, look, let's put the brakes on everything boxing for now until we fix the room, until we sweep the room. Nathan, And that's the position some of us hold, and that is the position we've continued to hammer home. That's the way to go.
Let's put everything on pause. Let's do a proper house cleaning, and then we proceed. I don't know. Well, it will be very, very, very important to get a good understanding of what has happened so far. Because, he did admit that he admitted that not sharing information in hindsight was really not the best, because now we can't fully appreciate whether work has been done, one, and two, even if work has been done, how much of it has been done, and whether it tallies with the recommendations of the committee. So I'm happy he concedes that in hindsight, maybe sharing information would have helped. I'm sure in the mind of the NSA at the time, or let's just do the work. But I think looking at the circumstance, sharing information as they went along would have helped. We would have all been able to match what they were doing with the recommendations. Prompt when we believe that they are going slightly off tangent, and then commend when they are going, when they are sticking with the recommendations, to ensure that the right things are being done. Because it's very important that we tally the work of the NSA in terms of supervision and all of those things with the committee's recommendations, so that when we are done, we know that we've done one great work for Ghana boxing, and then that's it. We've built the structure. All we do is maintain, supervise, inspect, correct as we go along. But if after all of it turns out that the work is running completely parallel to what the recommendations are, then it means that we would have wasted time and money, and now we need to tally it with what the recommendations are saying. You see, the long and short of all the things we are saying, and I'm happy Yara Ankara also shares that broad belief that we must reset Ghana boxing, right? We must ensure that it falls in line with global standards. So that the things we do here are a direct mirror image of what happens globally. So that you will not interview a boxer and a boxer will tell you, I go back to Elvis Ahoge's interview we did. That interview has stayed with because of something he said. You see, he himself was stunned when he realized. You remember what he said about when he first fought in the UK?
Yeah. He said
about promotions not running into the next day. He said if it starts at 7, it's 7. That's it.
Yeah. You know, Nathan, this practice of having bouts traveling to the next day,
it's a terrible idea.
It doesn't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. If we are watching bouts, we are watching American bouts at dawn.
It doesn't mean
they are fighting at dawn. They are fighting within their time. Look, Nathan, if you advertise a fight for the 27th of September, the fight should not travel into 28th of September.
Because you are not saying it's a 2-day bout. It's not a 2-day promotion.
But we've allowed these things to happen. We've allowed these things to continue.
Sporty FM.
So the bout travels into midnight, and we think it's normal. Everybody thinks it's okay. But Nathan, that is not best practice. No. A boxer cannot do his weighing, do all his mandatory tests to fight on a day, and then the fight travels into the next day. And then when we're waiting for the Crawford and Canelo fight, we knew very well that whatever happens, that fight will not travel beyond 11:30 p.m. It wasn't going to happen.
I need to. Do you happen to know the time in the US when bout started?
So that bout started around 10.
10 p.m.
Yeah, that's about
US
around
time.
10 US time.
Okay.
It didn't travel into the morning of Sunday.
No.
That fight was on Saturday, ended on Saturday. That is it. In the UK. So Ahoga, he was telling you.
Yes.
When he went, he never knew that when a bout travels into the next day, it has to be cancelled. He didn't know that. The bouts don't.
Yes.
So we watched a lot of those AJ bouts, a lot of those British productions or promotions.
Yeah.
It's Sporty FM.
End around 10.
10 p.m.
Yeah.
10
Most of them
p.m.
ended around 10
yes.
p.m.
10 p.m.
Never traveled late. So Nathan, I mean, if we want to do things right, let's do it right. Let's stick to the rules. Let's just do what we have to do. And, I mean, it's not going to help anybody, Nathan. These things won't help anybody.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this. Let's see if we can get more updates from the NSA. The NSA says, or the NSA through its DG says that, okay, the lines will be open. We'll be getting updates. We'll see if those updates will come through.
You know,
Yes.
I asked Jan Pofanko about Dr. Eric Tete. And again, per the committee's report, the committee report says he holds a provisional registration from the Ghana Medical and Dental Council. Has not completed the required 2-year housemanship, limiting his ability to take up a full role. He clearly stated that he informed the GBA about his limitations and requested the hold off on any official engagement. So the doctor was clear in his mind. Now look, I'm not ready for this assignment.
No. I mean, he knows that.
But today, he's the same boxer.
Same
Sorry,
doctor.
he's the same doctor. The board appointed as their doctor.
But that's
The interim board appointed, and he's the same doctor Jan Pofanko speaks about as leading matters concerning medical issues.
he's not been fully certified, so. Anyway, we'll have to keep an eye out on this. (8:18). This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send in your comments 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We'll see if we can touch base with GUSA, the Ghana University Students Association. The sports bit of that entity, to get an understanding of what UDS are doing at the World University Games. Because they are doing some big things there. They made it to the semis of the World University Games. They beat Chungcheon University of South Korea. Yesterday, they won by 5-2. So good stuff coming in from the UDS, the University of Development Studies. We'll try and get an understanding of how all of this has happened, what the ultimate aim is. I guess the ultimate aim is to win, but we would like to get a better understanding of their story, right? What kind of work has gone into this? What's the secret of their success? And they are in the semi-final, and we don't know. We don't know what will happen, but UDS have done well.
Yeah,
semi-final of the World University Games.
I think that it's a remarkable achievement, and I've always said that at the university level, there's a lot of talent. Okay, there are people who, because they never got the opportunity to go pro early, or because they never got the chance to showcase their talent for club sides or for national teams, they possibly decided, well, let me just continue my career in academics and possibly just give up on my sport career. There are a lot of athletes, there are a lot of footballers, there are a lot of boxers who abandoned their hopes of becoming what they wish they could because of opportunities. Okay. Now, again, I do not know if some of these universities fall on players who play for clubs within their catchment areas. I don't know. I don't know if maybe a University of Ghana would fall on players who play for Nania, play for Legon Cities, that kind of thing. I don't know
Are they
if that
students?
happens. Oh, you see, Nathan, I'm saying this because when we were in Adisco,
Why are you trying to expose?
I'm saying, when we were in Adisco, we had a school team of our mates, okay, players,
Yes.
our mates,
Yes.
and we saw them play. I mean, when we went to school, we saw our Form 3s, we saw our school team. When we went in Form 2, we saw our school team. When we got to Form 3, the school team had a different look. Now we had
The school team had a different look.
they had a different look. Now it wasn't our schoolboys again. Apart from Rahim Ayu, who came in as a Form 1 boy, and played because he was a student. Almost all the other players who came were from Vipers. Okay, so they were admitted into school as students, and when they were given dormitories and all, only to go and eat in the dining hall and go back to their rooms and not go to the classroom.
Sporty FM.
They were student footballers.
And they were not going to the
And
classroom.
they were not going to the classroom.
Are you sure that if the people at Adisco hear this, they will not come after you?
Oh, but you see, the sad part is that the sports master who brought them, of blessed memory, is passed. But that was the situation at the time. And I mean, everybody knows. They brought players from Vipers and Dwarfs.
But Adisco as a school still exists too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm saying that.
You are trying to put an asterisk by the school's
but I'm saying
sporting
that.
achievements.
No, so these were students. These were players they brought in to come in school.
You just said they were not going to the
No, but no. So they brought the boys in to play football, but they were engaged as students. But their core function was supposed to go to dining hall and go and train, go and eat in the dining hall, go and train. They didn't go to class with us. Okay, we saw our school team change. That's why I'm saying that. I hope that it's not as if when we are going for university games, we'll go and poach players, some of the fine players from some of the clubs around, and matriculate them immediately. But that said, Nathan, it is remarkable that it is UDS. For me, I'm happy it is UDS.
Why?
Because it tells a different story. So normally you'll be expecting the NUSTs, the Legons, the UCCs to go and dominate there. But it is UDS. It clearly tells you if we what happens up north in terms of talent. The young man who broke the 100-meter record, what's his name? Fuseni? Fuseni? No, who? Not Fuseni. Saminu.
Yes.
He came from up right? He came from up there.
Yes.
Got the opportunity to go abroad.
Yes.
There's Fuseni in that team. Also came from up there.
Yes.
It just that. Look, maybe in terms of talent search, our scouting network should go up there and figure out how we can get some of the best. Even in boxing these days, when you hear the Black Bombers, you hear a lot of them coming from there.
The voice of sports.
Okay, so I'm saying that the story of UDS, how far they've gone in this competition, is supposed to give us information as a country as to where to look when we are scouting, and it's important.
Okay, let's go to the line, Ray. Let's speak with Ibrahim Tanko Shaibu. He's the president of GUSA and he's in charge of sports at UDS. I think, is he the coach? He's the team coach. Yeah, he's the team coach as well. Tanko, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. We are in the evening here in China. I'm very fine. What about you?
Yes, we are fine. It's morning here. It's 8:25 in Accra. So that's why I said good morning. But let's start off. Congrats to UDS. UDS has made the semi-final. It's a huge achievement. Just take us through the journey of the competition. How was it like from the beginning? And what is the secret behind this amazing run that UDS is currently on in the World University Games in China?
Thank you very much. The genesis of this tournament, began in Nigeria. That was last year, July 2024, where we won at the African version of Federation of African University Sports. So after which, we were selected to represent Africa at the world stage. So that has brought us this far. And we played 4 matches so far, 3 in the preliminary round, and then 1 in the knockout stage. So we are in the semis now, which will be played tomorrow.
Great, wonderful. What's the secret, really? What's behind this great run that UDS has been on? I remember when it started, you were winning games, we were all following and all of that. And now you've reached the semi-final. What's the secret? What's the power behind these performances?
It is nothing but discipline and high commitment on the part of management of the university as well as the players. So that is what is driving us this far.
Great. Let's go through some of the star names in the semi-final. Roland Frimpong got himself a hat-trick. Zakaria Alassane also got 2 goals. Who are some of the other players in the team? And how did you discover some of these gentlemen? They've come to school to study. How did you discover that they had the gift of football, and these gifts have powered UDS to this very important stage of the World University Games in China?
Yeah, I don't know if I can take you down memory lane. When I was with RTU, most of the boys were from RTU and they were in school. So at least majority of them have completed, leaving only Frimpong. He is in his final year now. He'll be completing this academic year. And then the rest, we do scout because we are trying to establish, an institution where, sports, is on the high rate. But for that matter, because I'm a football person, I strongly believe I have to build a very strong football team in the university, and that is what I'm doing. I do scout players from everywhere. I make sure that I scout a team that can really represent the university. Everywhere in the world.
Okay, quite interesting. I'm curious. So, are all these all of these are students, right? Students of UDS under your guidance.
Definitely, they are all students. I'll send Achi when we finish. I'll send you their departments and their levels. Everything you see. Okay, they are students.
Wonderful. So now you've made the semi-final. You are in the last 4. Who are your next opponents, and what are your own expectations? UDS, you've gotten to the semi-final. So who are your next opponents, and what are your own expectations? What are your own targets for the competition?
Yeah, we shall be meeting Granada University from Spain.
Okay.
We expect to beat them.
That will be what? Is it? You've taken on a previous Spanish team. Am I correct?
Yes, we've beaten one already.
Okay.
This is the second Spanish team. Yeah.
Great. And you want to go all the way? You want to win the competition?
Inshallah, we want to win the competition.
Great. I'm just curious. Do you have some players who are in the Ghana Premier League but are still students and they are representing UDS?
Yeah, we have about 4 players from Karela.
Oh, okay.
Asigri Mohammed, he's the captain of the team. He has been in the university from first year up to now. Now he's offering his masters in the university.
Okay.
He's been Al-Hassan. He's also in the master's program. Then we have Kabiru Al-Hassan. He's also in the second year, going to 3rd year now. And then this guy, Imuru. There's one Imuru who is also in the 3rd year now. So these are 4 players from Karela in the university at the moment.
Oh, interesting stuff. This is a fascinating story. I'm absolutely impressed by the work that you have put in, and the fact that some of these players are in the university as well, studying. Some of them are already undergoing their masters. Finally, for all these players and the guys who are there, what's the motivation? Because the run is so impressive. You say you want to win the competition, but for the players, what is motivating them to give off these very wonderful performances in the games they've played so far?
I cannot take decision on my own without the players' consent. So it is a unilateral decision we have made. To really make the university and the country at large, a happier place after Sunday.
Okay. That's good. My colleague Raymond Yawado is saying that you used to be a player for Ho Voradep back in the day.
Yes, I've coached Vorade before.
Okay.
I've played and coached Vorade.
I see.
Yes.
It's just a pity that we haven't seen them return to the big time in Ghana. I wonder what the challenges are with Vorade, because they seem to be they were a very popular team from back in the day.
Their first relegation, I wasn't there. When they went to relegation, I came and brought them back to the Premiership before I left for the university as a student. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I've been with Vorade for a long time before I left. Yeah.
Great. I have two questions for you. One, how are, for example, the 4 players you mentioned who are playing in the Ghana Premier League for Karela, how do they handle the demands of being professional footballers in a professional league and also being students? Some of them are undergraduate, some of them are graduate students. How are they managing these two very heavy tasks?
The onus lies on them and their clubs, because the clubs have to, in the first place, knows that they are students. So they have to give them a briefer when they have lectures. They wouldn't be able to go attend training. So that is how they interplay with academic and football.
Okay. And then finally, are there any scouts who have approached you concerning some of these players? You know, some of the players are doing really well. Have any scouts spoken to you about some of these players and the possibility of, you know, signing them or getting them huge pro contracts and all of that?
Yeah, they are around, but we have not given them that chance yet, because we want the team to concentrate, to the maximum. So we are keeping them at bay, so that we'll be able to get to wherever we want to get to before they can come into the fold of the institution's camping days.
Great. Tanko, thank you so much for your time. But finally, I just want to know, is the team made up of players from all the UDS campuses, or you only chose them from a particular UDS campus?
It depends on where your course is. Some are from Nyankpala and some are from, UDS is now left with 2 campuses, Nyankpala and Tamale campus. Because Navrongo have decoupled themselves. So it's now left with Nyankpala, and we have Nyankpala players and Tamale campus players.
Okay. I think that's fair. Tanko, thank you so much for speaking with us. All the best as you take on the University of Granada in the semi-final. Fingers crossed you should beat them and make the final, and we'll see. The possibilities are endless from that point.
Inshallah, we shall make it.
All right. Thank you so much, and all the best ahead of your semi-final.
You're welcome.
All right. That was Ibrahim Tanko Shaibu. He's the sports director at UDS. Okay. And he's also the GUSA president. And then he's the one coaching the team there. Very interesting. Very, very interesting story.
I see they are doing well.
A very interesting story.
So, you have university players playing for Premier League clubs and still doing well at this level. You know, it's impressive. I mean, for most of these players, I think that what they want to do for themselves is that they want to give themselves another option in life. In case football doesn't happen, your academia takes you elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's remarkable, and we need some of these competitions. You never know. Some of these players may get professional dues after this competition. But then again, these players again have a fallback plan.
Yeah.
If football doesn't happen, if football doesn't get them what they want in life, they could always resort to doing other things with the academic qualifications they have. So, and I'm impressed. I'm excited. I'm happy for the team, and I'm happy it's UDS, and I'm happy it's coming from way up north. And I would always say, Nathan, there's a lot of gold up there. We must find a way to tap into that gold. There's a lot of gold up there, no doubt. And if UDS win it, it's a huge statement.
It is.
And these are the group of players I think we should send to the Jubilee House if they go and make Ghana proud.
If they win, you should take them
there. Because, you see,
Fair.
There's a huge statement in there for whoever wants to develop sports in this country.
Yeah.
The direction they should look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we wish them well, and I'm hoping that they come home with a trophy.
Well, Kelvin Osman is here.
Yeah.
Kelvin, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nathan. Yeah, by His grace, I'm doing good. This warms my heart because during our time back in school, yes, some of our colleagues or KNUST, yes, they managed to qualify, but to facilitate the trip was a problem. Yes, some couldn't go at a certain point, and I think even with this UDS team, they struggled. They were struggling with raising funds and then getting their visas and all that, the processing. It was quite difficult for them, very Herculean task, but one or two supports, and they managed to pull together. And I think this is one of the things that the country and then the sports ministry should really be interested in: education and then sports. It is one of the major pillars that they want to promote. And if you've seen some of the players who have gone through school and then have played football, it augurs very well for them. If not anything at all, the current success of the PFAG, even though Tony Bafo started it, it has very much involved Yusuf Chipsa.
Yes.
Sporty
All because of his background, very much well educated. Look at Tetezuta at the GFA now, from Mediema as administrative manager now to the Ghana Football Association. Even the likes of Tony, all those who have managed to go through some level of schooling.
Yeah.
Look at Eric Donko now handling, one of the Division 2 clubs, Kufuridi Association. Very, very, good things arise from these. Remember this guy, Abel Manumi.
Oh, yes.
Abel realized, come on, if football isn't going to work for me, then let me leave.
Yeah.
Alassa Muhammad, formerly of Asante Kotoko, is an architect. Very good architect. He's in the north now. When football did not work for him, he's gone into architecture. And the positive he got from it was that when he played for Asante Kotoko, so it's more like because of his relationship with Asante Kotoko, people trust that, oh, come on, this guy can do my work for me, can finish up for me. So most of the jobs up there, with regards to construction, building, putting up structures, he's been in charge of it. So I'm just happy for this team, and especially their first time participating there. It was always going to be difficult, but how they've rode through all the challenges to get to this far, it's impressive. And they are being manned by one of the top coaches we've seen in the country, Archie, Kerala United. He's been there before, and clearly he was always going to come good with this team, provided they were going to listen. So I think in the semi-final, this is the best Africa Soul representative, raising the flag, not just of Ghana, but, the weight of Africa on them. But they still managed to pull through. I think it's impressive. Just like Nathan is saying, when these people come, Raymond is saying, when these people come, these players come, they should be given, those plaudits, those awards. They deserve the bonuses more. I'm not saying that the other national teams don't deserve the bonuses, but if these, fine, it may be a private university, a semi-private institution, but it's still a public.
Yes, it's a public university. UDS is a public university.
Just invest and make sure that some of these guys get the very best forms of education, and if their careers can be promoted or can be helped to get to the very top, they get there. Bonucci after his football, like Chiellini, he's a learned.
He did got his masters.
Yes,
was it sometime last year?
Exactly. Most of the players in football
company
Vincent Company did study.
Manchester University did his business degree.
You get it. So
his masters.
It's something that I think that we should promote locally, so that after football, the life, we get to know that, yes, these guys can learn and can still play football. And when it gets to a point that they cannot play football again, they have that opportunity. So we cannot kill dreams just like that. No. Let's just promote it. And this is a typical example of how you can still play football, you can still school at the same time, and then get the very best out of it. I'm very much impressed with what UDS has achieved. And to all the other universities, they should just get to know that it's not just about, the books. they should prioritize sports, not just in football. They should prioritize sports. And when they are doing it, they should do it very well. Employ the best of hands. Imagine if this was a volleyball coach. You know, most of our institutions do that. A football team and it will be coached by a volleyball coach. It will be coached by, a hockey coach. He will be handling football. But there are so many differences. How you train your hockey players is always different from how you train and build up your football team. So credit to Kotanko and then to all the players and then the guys at UDS making this happen, and to all their benefactors, yes, who ensure that this success comes them. I just hope that yes, they are also blessed. So the ministry and then if Parliament, this is what they should send there and discuss, not the Black Stars.
Talking about the UDS, let me just give our listeners a run through their results. So they beat University of Sharjah of the UAE by 2-1. Okay, and then they beat Ramon Llull University of Spain by 4-1. And they beat they drew with Paulista University 1-1. And then they beat, then that's when they beat Cheongil University of Korea or South Korea by 5-2. Okay, 5-2. So that was that's the run of UDS so far, and then they are taking on the University of Granada, okay, which is on Friday at 6 p.m. And if they make the final, then they will get the chance to fight for the big prize. So we wish them the very, 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 very best in their journey. All right, 8:44. All right, let's take some calls. 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. You can equally send us a WhatsApp message on the same number. And you can also call the other number 030-279-4805. 030-279-4805. Let me take this call. I remember that later this one there's Inside French Football, so at 10:05. So we'll be back to give you all of that. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Yeah, Nathan, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good. This is Anubil, Makaki Hill.
Yes, Anubil, please go ahead.
See, I pray you give me ample time to deal with the unpurpose issue this morning.
There are many callers, so you can just pass a quick comment.
Let me just do it snappy. You see, this man virtually came to speak English. He virtually came to speak English, and that's what most of them do. See, somebody has died, a foreigner has died, and they have set up a committee. A government have set up a committee. They have come out with findings and reports, and they have given you white paper on what to do. You are sitting on the white paper. How many months now? 4 months, right?
From March.
Yes. And you sit down and watch the same thing that was happening under that man, the head of GBA by then, the one that resigned. The same thing that is happening. And you sit there and tell us we are working under behind the scene, we are doing what is all this? See, the same people, one of them came to sit at your studio and told us blankly that because the portion of the stadium that was blocked, people have invaded that place on 2 occasions. So they are really now going to take money and let people sit there. Is that not true? Is it all about the money they will make? Is it all that? Is it about is it all about the money they will make? See, you have been given a mandate to do something. How many people does he want them to die before he will start to fix the GBA? When you have been given the authority, everything is on the white paper. I wish you could have called this guy again. This man, the sports, the one that has written a lot of books on sports boxing.
Ekoasma.
Ekoasma. This man sat down. People are like your fathers who have grown with experience, sat down, put their heads together, came up with findings and things on white paper that you should just implement. Ray was saying that first things first, he should have just stopped boxing. In the meantime, stop boxing and do the needful. The same doctor that was there when people, Olariwaju died, is it not the same doctor who is still in charge?
No, no. So hold on. So the doctor in question, the doctor that Ray was talking about, that doctor, when he met the committee, he told the committee that, so that doctor wasn't employed by the GBA wanted to engage him. And he told them that he didn't have the required lines. He had not finished his housemanship. He's gone to medical school. He's graduated as a doctor, but he has to do his housemanship. And he said he wasn't done with the housemanship. So they shouldn't give him any job or any work because it won't, like, you get it, it will be like he's breaking the rules. So he told them that he didn't want any appointment. But, well, I don't know.
What do we see?
I don't know what it is they're asking him to do.
Is it not in the helms of affairs now? So what is the difference? Nathan, you see, they sit there. We expected so much from a young man with a lot of expectation on his shoulders. But look at what is happening. Until when? One of these guys, Bahubali, when you go to the area, he's one of the hype guys who makes the boxing in the area very interesting. You made him die. I mean, out of your negligence, you didn't kill him, yes. But if you had initiated the instruction or whatever, the findings on the white paper, this thing wouldn't have happened. Ray was asking that in case every weekend or this weekend there's going to be a boxing. If something happen again, what do we do? You are sitting there speaking English, sitting in your office speaking English, and things are happening. People are dying. Why are we like that, Nathan? Why are we like that? Somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's husband. The guy just died. He went to the hospital right after the fight. The next day, he was admitted 3 days. People don't want us to say he died out of the boxing. Now, what should we say? Somebody that was bleeding, the referee couldn't stop the fight. I don't know what he was also waiting for. All these things came out of the findings that most of those people are not professionals. So it should be stopped for some time and then don't put the structures in place, the right people, qualified people. You are sitting there speaking English and the same people are running things. Every weekend they are playing, they are fighting, paying 500, 700 and all that. Charlie.
All right. Thank you for your call. 054-257-1061. I think there's a call on the other line. Let me take this one. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Axel calling from Tema.
All right, please go ahead.
Nathan, it's like I am observing something. What I've observed is that because Yawan Pokwanka comes from the journalist talk, so you people are being lenient with him, treating him with kids' gloves. Seriously.
Sporty FM.
Seriously. Any interview, in the process, it's a process. He should stop lying to Ghanaians. He should stop lying to Ghanaians. Because what happened? Did I hear him say he never said all boxing activities should stop, Nathan?
Yeah, he said he didn't say that.
He's lying. It's a big lie.
Okay.
Yesterday, I listened to him on Asempa. Why should he lie? I listened to him in the morning on Asempa. So he shouldn't come. He should never bring himself like a politician. He's already a politician. Started lying like the politicians. Do you remember when the Kumasi issue, the stadium issue came up? Do you remember the things he was saying? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Please, do you remember the things he went around about saying?
But he said a lot. So which specific
He said a lot. Do you remember he said, National Sports Council are the people working on the pitch? I remember I called and I told you it was Kotoko who paid for the people working on the pitch.
Okay.
Why is it that when you're a journalist, you criticize people, but the moment they give you an opportunity to work, then you behave like a typical politician. Oh, it's too terrible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805, 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send us a WhatsApp message as well. We'll gladly read some comments before we proceed or before we leave the studio at about 10 a.m. A little later, we'll talk some rugby. Last week, I had the privilege of speaking with one of the players in the ahead of the finals of the rugby competition. We'll get some reaction to the final. Hello.
Good morning. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Good morning.
Comment ça va?
Ouais. Ça va, comment tu vas?
Oh, très bien. Merci beaucoup.
Ok. Ça, c'est bien. Yes.
It's okay.
All right, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Beta, which country? Charlie, Ghana, Charlie. Where we migrate from?
Why?
No, it's some simple question. Where we migrate from?
I wouldn't know.
Sporty FM.
Where did we come from? I mean, different people came from different places, right?
So which stadium is under construction and you used to as a concept? Hey, I don't understand. It's like this country, we don't learn from our past mistakes. So we just improve. We just improve our mistakes. We just improve them. We don't learn. Well, Charlie, the country.
Oh, why will it not work? Why are you saying?
Later, do you know something? The people behind our first square, we have to wake them up and ask them why did they put this country in this state?
We should wake which people up?
The people behind our first school.
What?
Our first school, coup d'etat.
Okay.
We should wake them up and ask them why did they put this country in this state? Because after the coup d'etat, Ghana did not be the same. We have never been the same. It will never be the same to eternity.
Okay.
I tell you later. See, this NSA boss, I don't know what the sports minister is waiting for. What we will fire him. That's incompetent. I don't know what he's waiting for. See, these people, they should sack all of them. If you're not doing your work, well, get fired. See, we can people who can do the work. We are paying you. What are you doing? A stadium is under construction, and what you used to do concert. What kind of life is that? No. I don't understand something later.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our stadiums. We are struggling to host matches. Look at the rate we are using the transport stadium. Now we are playing every matches on the transport stadium. Football.
Yeah, it's because all the other places are not. So Legon is being regrassed as we speak.
So later, are you not scared?
Am I not scared?
Like at the rate we are using the transport stadium.
You're asking if I'm not scared. I've gone beyond being scared. And these things we've said. See,
one day we'll be there and the stadium will collapse.
Well, as for me, I think that the entire stadium should even be pulled down in the first place.
Exactly.
And then we reconstruct.
I promise that you will build new stadiums everywhere. Master, just break down the stadium. Bring down the Akaspo Stadium.
Yeah.
Build a modern stadium for Ghana. Wow! For even better tourism. Charlie, you can do something nice. Build some Black Star Stadium. Charlie, what kind of country is this? Hey! Charlie,
anyway,
go find some. I think that's the one. I beg you. Have a good morning.
All right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Let's take 2 more calls and then we proceed. We'll talk some rugby a little later on the Sporty Breakfast. And then remember that after the Sporty breakfast, there's Inside French Football. I'll be back here with John Boafo to talk about very interesting things. Ballon d'Or Monday night, PSG losing to Marseille. We'll review Liga and then look ahead to another exciting weekend of some more French football. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Mr. Q.
Yes.
Michael from Blakuna.
Michael, please go ahead.
I'll be everything cool.
Charlie, we there inside.
Now to meet you, I will listen to Inside French Football.
All right.
But yesterday, I want to congratulate you because some legends didn't mention your name. You see, they do too much. You be serious.
What's happening?
My sponsor.
Okay.
On the Sporty guy, you see, like
Senior Morris.
Yeah. See the force wow. So like my kuma told me, you see, telling me my adult to then do one shout out.
Thank you to Senior Morris.
But I know something. You see, I never said it to bro. It's the same thing. The young bat and the stadium. You do them interview. Oh, it's in the pipeline. You are in the process. You are in the thing. Oh, bro, for no one on the car. But you know, we are taking. And no, bro, for now, oh, it's in the pipeline. You are taking time. We don't want you to see. And Kushi, and Kobia. Guy, Roma. Once a thousand, like you have to satisfy the assist. When you say the BCBI, we are normal thing. Wow, like just you for do the interview, you say,
no, you know, Michael, whenever I do this interview, sometimes people, I get messages from people, and people go like, you know, you should fire the person. I said, no, you see, time, for me, I always fall on time. So we've done, today is the 25th of September.
Yes.
The interview has been recorded. So the next time, in a month or two, the next time we speak, if you come back to say, oh, this and that, your own voice is here, then I can start to attack you.
Okay.
So I mean, that's how sometimes you are a little patient. They say it's a process, no problem. Time will review all things.
But then you know that respectfully, after this second person died, if I was your uncle, I resign.
Okay.
I resign because the NSA gives you a timeline, and you give the interim people some timeline.
Yes, they gave them 1 month.
1 month. So 1 month, after 1 month, then you have to start doing the process. But then still there were boxing matches going on.
Yeah.
So who is the problem here? So you have been given an order. So if the sports minister gives you an order, it's like the president has given you an order. Then you have disrespected the president who gives you appointments as the NSA boss. So me, respectfully, I'll resign. But then look at this morning, because we come and other couple of they are pipeline. We go back to the drawing board. Drawing board, you see, I draw one. Yeah, draw near the pack. Near the pack. It's in the pipeline. And go back. Yeah. Certainly, we are some.
Yeah. Well, that one we'll hear from them. He said they will give a statement on whether it will happen or not.
We'll see. Forget it. You see, when Raymond asked the question, you see how he took time before he answered the question. You go, come on. Ask your question. You mentioned one, is a number.
That boxing promotion was like when? That boxing was like 2018 or so. All right, Michael, God bless you too, Charlie. Anyways, 9 on the dot. All right, let me take a few more, two more calls, just two. I think I have a call on the line. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Kaswa Funko.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, but sometimes I blame you, the media people.
What have we done today?
Because listen, the former NSA president, this man, Professor, what's his name?
What's his name? Tell me his name. I'm listening.
Professor who you have succeeded him.
Professor who? What's the man's name?
He was a professor. The position, Mr. Professor now, there was a professor who was in charge of that office.
Yes, but what's his name? I want you to tell me his name.
No, I forget the name. That is why I know he's a professor, but I forget the name. When things are not going well, the media was on him every day. But now, that the one in your position is your colleague. I have listened to so many stations, and you are pampering him. You see, sometimes we should be fair.
Okay, you see, hold on. You see, listen. You see, this is. You see, I don't quite understand. Ever since we started working at Sporty, have we not criticized the NSA boss?
No, listen, please. I'm not talking about you alone. I said the media people.
And I'm saying, you see, you are on my show. I can't speak for somebody, or I can't refer to what somebody does on another network. I can speak on what happens on my network.
Okay, I agree.
So unless, of course, you can give me proof that we are here and we've not held the NSA boss accountable. Because I find this narrative really funny that people say that, oh, and this and that, and we are how are we pampering him? How are we pampering him?
Okay,
Charlie, guys, let's stop some of these things. Okay, you make your point. I'm not. You see, because you see, you are not the first person to say it. Relax. You are not the first person. There's this. Hold on, I beg you. There's this narrative that people like to cook in their mind that, oh, because Yara was a former journalist, we pamper. How have we pampered the Ampo Franca? How have we pampered him? Do you know the hell we have gone through for criticizing him?
You see, I said you forgive me. Maybe I know you said it's not your station. Maybe I choose some station the way they are doing and I put it on so forth.
Okay, you make your point. Make your point.
You see, I'm from Sekenita Academy. Go and see the Super Sports Stadium. You see, this country, we sometimes some of us we are sport people. We don't listen to politics. We always listen to sport, and it is the only thing that we like. And our sporting facilities and all is falling, and nobody is thinking about it. Nobody is doing anything about it. Go to Sekenita Sports Stadium. It's one of the best in Africa now. It's a sport.
Yeah.
Nobody is doing anything there. The former NSA was did nothing, and now it's still there.
Yeah, the situation hasn't improved. I remember the other day.
Why are we doing this to our country?
The other day, I mentioned this.
Good sport people who want to use that facility to do their exercise and do it there, but nobody is taking care of it. Go there and see. But brother, this country should be. Please, I hear Mr. President said they are going to build another stadium in other.
Yeah, they said they are going to build six or seven.
And that's why we will build it 10 years time. It was bought, and nobody will care about it. Please, let's hold our politicians accountable for Christ's sake. Some of us, we're not interested in politics. We are interested in sport. So they should do everything to bring back our facilities. That is what we are waiting for. And next time, some of us, majority of us, we are in sport, but we always vote for these people. And they came and they did nothing for us. Please, we should tell Mr. President, you should stop doing the new ones. Fix the old ones before you proceed to the new ones. Thank you, my brother.
All right.
Forgive me.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not upset. I'm cool. All right. Thank you so much. 9:05. Let's proceed with the rest of the show. All right. Let's take a few more messages. Kweku from Bournemouth says that being a leader in Ghana is not easy at all. The challenges are overwhelming. Let's give Yara some time. It's too early to conclude he's not working. Kweku, yes, we can't conclude he's not working, but you see, everything is on a day-to-day. So when the issues come up, we'll ask questions. We will hold Yara Mpofo-Ankrah accountable, not in a disrespectful way, but like we did, we'll ask you questions. We'll do our checks, we'll do our double checks, we'll do our follow-ups to see what is happening. And when we don't find the right answers, we'll keep asking questions. That's what we have to do. This one, okay, skipper from Adaklu. Wire says, I heard an interview of one of the UDS players. Okay, you say he plays for Gold Stars, that allegedly he had issues with the team after opting to play in the investigation. Okay, I'll have to follow up to find out how true this is. So, skipper, thank you. I will let my production team, or we'll find out for ourselves. This one says, okay, you are not happy with the NSA boss and the GB officials. Says, what does he mean by E.T. Pius has come to him ranting about the upcoming bout? Trust me, there will be no medical checkup, and the boxers will come this weekend, and the unfortunate may happen again. Okay, Quincy from SCC, he's not happy at all. That is, I completely agree with you, Quincy. Look, the NSA boss says a statement will be released today. We'll have to wait for that statement, find out what that statement will even look like, and then we'll decide on what happens. Because personally, if you ask me, I think that we should put a pause on boxing, set everything up, and we go again. So we wait to see what that statement will say ahead of this weekend. Ray, you said what's the name of the event? Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Okay.
High tension versus Africa.
Okay.
That's the main bout.
We wait to see what will happen. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. We'll take a spot of music. When we come back, we continue the show. 106.1. Your messages are still welcome on 054-257-1061.
La Liga was match day 6. Some fixtures produced some interesting results. Rayo Vallecano almost tried to spoil the Atletico Madrid party, but Atletico Madrid came back to win that game by 3-2. Real Sociedad defeated Real Mallorca by 1-0, and Getafe and Alaves played out a pulsating 1-1 draw. And in the Carabao Cup as well, there were some interesting results. Well, maybe just as everybody predicted, Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle United, Manchester City all progressed to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Man City, thanks to goals from Savinho and Foden, defeated Huddersfield Town by 2-0. Newcastle United defeated Bradford 4-1. Tottenham Hotspur also made sure they made light work of Doncaster. And then Arsenal also secured a comfortable 2-0 win over Port Vale. And this is what the 4th round is looking like. Arsenal will take on Brighton, Grimsby take on Brentford, Swansea take on Manchester City, Newcastle United will play against Tottenham Hotspur, Wrexham take on Cardiff City, Liverpool play Crystal Palace, Wolves take on Chelsea, and Wycombe will play Fulham. And that was the Europa League phase as well. Some interesting games took place yesterday. If you don't know, yes, the Europa League has taken the form of the new Champions League format as well. It started last season, and they are currently playing in the league phase. You remember Manchester United and Tottenham made it out of the league phase and made it all the way to the finals. This time around, we have some interesting teams in here. Midtjylland took on Sturm Graz. Midtjylland beat Sturm Graz by 2-0. PAOK played out a pulsating 0-0 draw with Maccabi Tel Aviv. It was a ball draw in that particular encounter. Betis drew 2-2 with Nottingham Forest. So Ange Postecoglou has to wait for his first win in 4 for Nottingham Forest. Braga defeated Feyenoord 1-0. And Red Star Belgrade and Celtic played out a 1-1 draw. Dynamo Zagreb defeated Fenerbahce by 3-1. Freiburg defeated Basel by 2-1. Malmo lost at home to Ludogorets. And then Nice were defeated by AS Roma by 2-1. So that's how the results went in yesterday's games. Kelvin is here with me, and would get into some brief takes on some of the games that took place last night. And there was La Liga action, there was Carabao action, there was Europa League action as well. Kelvin, where do you want to take it from?
Well, I think I'll start from La Liga, and Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid coming with some great deal of confidence in their game. Many were expecting that they would have fallen, but this time around they picked up the pieces. And I don't know, there's one thing that many seem not to be getting about this Julian Alvarez guy. He seems to be phenomenal. How he managed to score that brilliant, wonderful, goal to win the game for them was just out of the blue. You look at the Atletico Madrid team, and I still think that they are loads and way off the sort of performance that you would expect from them. I think they still lack a number of things, because you look at how they play, and it's like the team that is still now getting to know their style and philosophy of the manager. Exactly. But you look at the team, and a number of the players, most of the players are players who've been there. Molina, Lenormand, Javi Galan, Marcos Llorente, Koke, Conor was there last season, and then Antoine Griezmann, Julian Alvarez. So I was quite surprised at how the game was just taken to them. But you cannot also take away the fact that, their opponents also have a very good team. Rayo Vallecano, have a very good team. Unfortunately for them, due to the injuries to one or two players, like Ghana's own Abdul Mumen, and then Luis Philippe, and then Randy Inteka, they've also been struggling a bit. And yesterday, how they managed to push the game to Atletico was just beautiful to see. Pep Chavaria, I think, in the next couple of months, if a team does not get a signature, I'm sure during the summer, he's going to move as one of the very left backs that we've seen in the game. And I wouldn't be surprised, because he plays so well. But credit to Atletico Madrid and how they managed to pounce and get back into the game. Many would have thought, come on, this would have been a loss, but how they managed to, come back from behind and then to get to the goals. And it was quite surprising. As soon as Vallecano got the second goal, they quickly equalized and getting to the tail end of the game, they just bound back to get to the victory. And then,
Kelvin, let me welcome Asaribudu. Asaribudu is joining us on the line as well. Michael, good morning to you and welcome to Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, Raymond.
Great, good to have you. I'll get back to you in a bit, but Kelvin is finishing his submission, so I'll get back to you in a bit. So just hang on for me a bit.
Okay.
Right. But Kelvin, before you move to the other game, Julian Alvarez, Man City sold him simply because, well, they thought they had Haaland and the player himself needed more playing time. I think last season he managed 17 goals, 4 assists for Atletico Madrid in the league. He started off very well this season as well. I mean, would you say what kind of player is he? And is he that man who suddenly, becomes that player who transforms everything Atletico do up front and gets them the goals and pushes them closer to Madrid and Barca?
Well, I think for some years now it has been Antoine Griezmann who pulls the strings together, but they needed someone to be finishing off the chances. Griezmann may be scoring, but he won't give you those top numbers. He may score, but consistently, is he going to give you those top numbers? So you needed someone, even if he's going to give you those top numbers, you need someone to add up to the goals. That is what all clubs do. Look at last season. Barca, Rafinha is scoring. Robert Lewandowski is scoring. Real Madrid, Vinicius will get his goals. Kylian Mbappe will be on the score sheet. Rodrigo will also add his bit. So it carries on from team to team. If you're a top team and you don't have, two sources of trust when it comes to goals, it becomes difficult for you to even know that when I'm playing, how do I work the ball through? Look at last season, how Arsenal got affected when Bukayo Saka wasn't available to play. And Kai Havertz was also unavailable. Now, where were the goals going to come from? It just had to spread across. Where Merino gets a few, Declan Rice will get one, Thomas Partey will come in to get one, Martinelli will have a couple. So it's always difficult. But when you have such a trusted man, you know that, yes, this is how we are working, and then this is how we work through. So now Griezmann doesn't think too much in going down the flanks because he knows that centrally, I have a man that I can locate. Koke knows that I don't have to push too much forward to come and hit long balls, especially at his age where his legs are tired. You just feed, Julian Alvarez through with the passes, and then you know that he's going to get you the goals. It was quite a very important and good move for him because he would have just been in the shadows of Erling Haaland. But now he's the main man, he's the main figure for Atletico Madrid, and that is quite positive to see top players not just rotting on the bench, but to be actively involved in the game for other clubs every now and then. And he has the passion and energy of Diego Simeone. He's his countryman, all from Argentina, so he understands, how he wants his things done, how he would want him to play, and communication is never a barrier for these two, and those energy levels, seems to be getting higher and higher each day. Atletico have lots of lapses, especially in defense, that they need to resolve. Other than that, this season is going to sway away a lot of time from them. Their former player, Thiago, said, yes, he trusts that Simeone will put the team back together. But these lapses, if they continue, if you get a mentally tough, very organized, disciplined side, who after 2-1 with just about 12 minutes to win the game, they will just manage the game and then you lose points. And that has been the problem of Atletico. Remember, the season started about 2 games and they hadn't won any of them, but they bounced back strongly to get this win, which can be good for Simeone going forward.
Right. Michael, let me bring Michael in. And Michael, we've watched Atletico Madrid. Clearly, they've struggled this season. They find themselves 9 points behind league leaders, Real Madrid. Is Diego Simeone under pressure? Looking at his team play and looking at his mannerisms on the touchline, is he under pressure?
Well, I would have to admit there are instances which would actually put his job under much more scrutiny. They will look at what is happening and the investment that has gone into the team in the last summer transfer window, and even in the last few years. Atletico are one of the biggest spenders across Europe. If you are to look at Spain, then they would have to be the second biggest spender, or even they would have to spend more than the likes of Madrid and Barcelona. We all know the difficulties that are part to do with their finances, so they don't risk in most recent past, they don't splash the cash like they used to do some time back. So they actually spending good money. And when the investments go into assembling the best of talent, and you are not playing well and also not getting the result, questions will be asked. But I think he has enough credit in the bank for people to start talking about the fact that they will need to dismiss him. And it is always like this. They don't start well or they fumble at a point in time in the season. But what he guarantees them is that they are very consistent in terms of making the final 4 positions that will guarantee them a Champions League berth. And for Atletico, that is seen as success, their pedigree. If they win the league, that is an outstanding achievement that the coach will chalk. But if they don't, and it falls to either Barcelona or Real Madrid, the Atleti fans themselves do understand where they fall in terms of the pecking order, and they won't raise much qualms about it. It looks much more like it is the outside that is more concerned about Atletico not winning the league. And it tells you how well Diego Simeone has been able to lift this side from where they were to an extent where the entire world sees them as credible contenders for the La Liga title every other season. And so it is not surprising. But on the evidence of what is happening, yes, it will be under pressure to get them to play well, to get the results consistently. And I think there were issues here and there. They went into the summer market, assembled a craft squad of young, talented players. Unfortunately for them, in their first game against Espanyol, they started well. Then there had to be some withdrawals, injuries and all that. The likes of Alex Baena is no longer available for selection. He recently returned from injury. Yesterday he was on the bench. He did not play. Thiago Almada is out injured. Alex Celos has been red carded. So they have issues in their team. So in as much as I understand that they have a decent squad that should be competing favorably week in, week out, I also think that it would take them time for all these potential, so all these talents to blend and gel as a collective. And that is what Simeone is trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out what actually works in terms of the team shape and structure. He's trying to figure out the player selections and the best roles to utilize players. And these things will take time. For Julian Alvarez, yesterday he scored a hat-trick. But before then, he has scored just a goal in his last 5 or 6 appearances in the league, which was becoming a concern for the Atleti fans. He was a player they actually spent huge on, and they expected that he would come and take the goal-scoring mantle. He had an excellent first season, so they expected him to continue from where he left off. But the start of the season has not been pleasant. In their last game, the penalty was withdrawn after 60 minutes. He passed some unsavory comments. It became controversy and all that. And even yesterday, after scoring his hat-trick, he had to clarify that he meant that he was not really enjoying himself. He was not having a good season, and as such was not pleased with his own performance. But I think the hat-trick puts to bed any doubt about whether he is fit for the frame. And in my opinion, I think that he's a player that eventually Atletico Madrid will lose, because with the kind of deliveries that he will put up, and then with the skill set and quality, what he offers every other team is that he's a top-level attacker, can sit as a central forward or can play on either side of the flanks. And it won't be long if teams like Barcelona, if their finances improve, will come circling. Don't forget that Barca will eventually be looking at getting a striker to replace Lewandowski eventually. Yeah. And I think if Alvarez is able to sustain these numbers and then the performances is given for Atletico, it will not be far off their radar in terms of strikers that would need to reinforce their own attack. Talk of Barcelona. So these are some of the positives around them, but the start of the season hasn't been pleasant at all. So yes, you are fair and right to say that Diego Simeone will be under some sort of pressure, but I think he can manage it. He's done this when the experience that he's gained all these years. Definitely, he will navigate them back to the top of the table, to the top places rather than where they are currently.
Right, Michael, thanks for your thoughts on that matter. So as things stand in La Liga, after 6 games, Barcelona have played 5. After 6 games, Real Madrid are currently top on 18 points. Barcelona are second. They've played 5 games on 13. BRL are third. They've played 6 on 13 points. Espanyol complete the top 4. They have played 6 games on 11 points. But, Kelvin, let's shift focus to the Carabao Cup, possibly. We saw Arsenal yesterday He had to take Eze's brilliant and, yes, an insurance goal from Trossard to ensure that Arsenal defeated Port Vale by 2-0. They have earned themselves a very tricky tie against Brighton in the 4th round of the EFL Cup. And then Man City also made light work of their opponent, Huddersfield Town. And we also saw Tottenham Hotspur defeat Doncaster. What do you make of the games we watched yesterday and the draw that followed yesterday's games?
Well, I think very minimal surprises. Nothing surprising in there. Manchester City, they just had to make sure that Huddersfield Town will be brushed off. Newcastle United, pick up the pieces. 4-1 against Bradford City. I think that's a very good scoreline for them. Getting, some of these players who've been struggling in the early moments of the season, like Joe Linton on the score. She's scoring twice. It clearly, sent some positivity for them. Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 against Doncaster Rovers. Yes, many of us have been expecting them to live up and get to the top of the ladder. But my concern is, for how long would Kudus be on the goal drought? Yes, he may be supplying, making those passes, a strength game. The coach may be applauding him. But I'm sure as a player individually, he has targets and he should be getting, some goals in there. We've seen time and time again, he tries to get goals, but unfortunately for him, it's either it's off target, it hits the goalpost, it's blocked and all that. But I think he quickly needs a goal. If the likes of Paulinho from central defensive midfield are all getting goals, then I think that he still has that capability. He should just have that eye for goals, and try, replicate the numbers in his opening season at West Ham United. That will help, because last season wasn't great for him at West Ham, but he's managed to make the move. And, some coaches may be talking about your strength game and all that, but if it gets to a point he realizes that he's getting the end product greater from one player who comes on, he doesn't have strength but can give him 2 goals or a goal and an assist in a space of 30 minutes, then it will be likely that, yes, he may start preferring those players. Let's not forget, he shouldn't forget that he has competition. The likes of Xavi Simons, Brennan Johnson and all are there. You may think now you are the king and all that, but football takes just 1 or 2 moments and then it will just tweak and then you'll find yourself wanting. But that is also a very good victory for them. Arsenal against Port Vale, I was expecting the Gunners to win. Good riddance for Eze scoring the opener. And Leandro Trossard, when his contract was extended and then his wages upped, many were like, come on, why is Arsenal upping this guy's salary? But I think that it's very good for him, and good for Arsenal. Because if you have players off like Kai Havertz and then the likes of Gabriel Martinelli may be scoring, but they wouldn't be, that productive every single game. Trossard adds a different dimension to the game. And just look at him. He's much more direct. That is what I want Kudus to see in himself and start banging in the goals. Because if it gets too tight and too difficult for them, then it means that, he's not going to get the kind of minutes or the number of minutes that he would want. But all in all, I think it's been impressive. We just wait to see how the rest of the games go. But the draw is going to be much interesting. Newcastle against Spurs. Yeah, that's a big one. Yes, I'll be looking forward to that game, and we'll wait to see Liverpool against Crystal Palace. A repeat of the Community Shield. They've really given them lots to think about. Arsenal against Brighton. Many thought that last season, after, Hezler started very well, he couldn't continue to give them the best. They've got some new players in Yakuba Minte trying to find,
but
the rhythm.
Well again.
Yeah, trying to find the rhythm. It looks more like it's a different dimension altogether now. They seem much more mature and they quickly go into the final third for goals. I think that will also be an interesting game. Chelsea against Wolves, I think that could be an easy game for them. Wolves themselves.
Easy for which team?
For Chelsea. Oh, come on. On paper, Wolves have been struggling, It was just last weekend they managed to just get some strange results, which all of us were surprised. But I think that it's a cool draw for Chelsea and they should be able to sail through. I think the fixture of the draw of the round will be the Newcastle Tottenham Hotspur match.
That should be a good one.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. Let me bring in Michael. Let me pick a few thoughts from him before I get into my rugby discussion. Michael, I know you followed the Carabao Cup last night and you watched some of the games. Quick thoughts on the games we watched, and then if you can just delve into the drawing quickly, pick your top liners for us, and then we take the show home.
Well, I think for Newcastle, they'll want to prioritize winning competitions like the EFL Cup. Last season they won it, and they want to repeat that success because I think it's part of trying to institute a winning culture, and you have to start small. So I understand it when they prioritize competitions like this. From there, maybe they can graduate to the FA Cup, maybe see if they can test their mettle in the Champions League, Europa League, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that they will need to win something eventually, looking at the investments that they are making. And so I understand why Eddie Howe decides to play some key players in there in a game where they weren't necessarily going to need these key players to win. The likes of Bruno Guimaraes needn't play against Bradford City to ensure Newcastle wins. But it tells you the kind of mentality or the mindset they take into games of this nature, this competition. So I was very happy they were able to win 4-1. Calvin has spoken about Shirlington. He initially came as a forward. The goals were not coming. So he had to redefine himself, and then he was given a different role. And I think so far, due to his physicality and his energetic play, he's thrived as a midfielder for the Newcastle setup. But it won't be bad to have him involved in the goal scoring at one way or the other. And I was pleased that he was able to get a goal. For the draw, I think that Man City are always escaping with very easy draws. They seem to have the lack of the draw most times in the FA Cup, even in the Champions League. In the knockout phase, they get to meet opponents who relatively on paper City are very much better than. And it's not surprising. They have a game against Swansea City. So City, I don't know how they do this, but there seems to be some luck element around them. The most difficult tie, judging by the two teams and their strength on paper, would have to do with Newcastle against Spurs. Spurs will need to win something again. Thomas Frank will need to win something. And Yara will need to prioritize winning this competition, which is going to be very crucial. Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and oftentimes when they meet, shows you that it's an interesting thing. Then it would have been interesting to see how they would have faced each other, because it looks like they are the only unbeaten team so far in England, and that they will meet this weekend in the Premier League. So definitely by the time they meet in the EFL Cup, maybe one side might have lost then, but it tells you the kind of football they are playing, so it should be interesting.
Right.
For Wolves against Chelsea, it will be difficult for Chelsea, but I don't think it is an unsurmountable task for Chelsea to qualify at the expense of them. So it's an interesting draw, yeah.
Great. Michael, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll touch base again, and then we'll get into the Europa League fixtures and results, and also we'll check out what happened in the Premier League as well as the top flight leagues in Europe. So, Michael, hopefully we'll catch up again tomorrow. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Great. And that was Michael Asaribuedu joining us from Sporty 91.3 FM in Kumasi. But Kelvin, before you go.
Yeah, I think it was good enough. Ange Postecoglou needs to pick up, the 2-2 draw against Betis, but you can't blame him too. Betis are a very good team. Igor Jesus getting a goal, and also Anthony also getting that equalizer. I think it was a good game to watch. So we wait to see more of that today, and then hopefully the weekend that will come with lots of goodies. But before I go, happy birthday to Pascal Ezimesiba, yes, who is the worthy president of Knights of St. John's International Commandery 736. Yes, Christ the King. Yes, Catholic Church at Cantonment. Yes, keep blossoming in grace and endless wealth of peace. Yes, for the rest of your life. Amen. Yes, we wish you good health. And also to, happy birthday to Erasewa. Yes, be great in life. May the next years be a glorious one. And Nanekia's daughter.
Oh, okay.
No, Nanekia has a daughter.
Oh,
the boys are rushing for that girl.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Very slim, dark and lovely. Ayamga knows the girl.
So who become
and he knows the potential suitors.
Who become the sugar daddies.
Yeah, Benedict, happy birthday to you, and have a good one. May your studies and your trip be successful for you.
Right. Thank you very much, Kelvin, for joining me on the show this morning. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. And 3 strong men and a lady have joined me in studio this morning. They're very strong men. Some with 6 foot 5 inches, built like John Cena. Well, I'm joined by members of the Ghana, or the Rugby League Federation Ghana. They've concluded their season and they have a lot to tell us on the show this morning. Let me quickly get into that conversation. Let me welcome the gentleman in studio. Let me start with our good friend Jafaru Mustafa. Jafaru, he's the general manager for the Rugby League Federation Ghana. Jafaru, good morning to you and welcome to Sporty.
Good morning, Raymond, and good morning to our listeners.
Great. And I have Coach Zaki here with me. He's called Nasiru Aminu, aka Zaki. He's the coach of the Bulls, and I hear the Bulls were the champions of last season.
Yes,
and Coach Zaki, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning.
Congratulations is in order.
Thank you.
Great. And I have the captain of the Scholars, the losing team. Yeah, the Scholars. They did 2-0, they lost the final. And I'm joined by the captain, Riddick Aliba. He's also joined us on the show this morning. Riddick, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. Jafar, let me start with you. General overview of the season and how we got to get these 2 teams in the finals, the Bulls and the Scholars.
Okay, so this year we started the league in May. It's been running for 16 weeks now. We had 6 clubs playing in the league. We had 2 new clubs, that is UG Titans and then Dragons. Bulls were the champions in 2024, so they were the people everybody was looking at disciplining or winning against. In the first round, they lost. They drew to one of the new teams, Dragons, and then they lost to Scholars. So everybody thought that was the end for them. But I think in the second round, they came back stronger. They came back more dedicated, and then they decided to leave no stone unturned. And I think it went very, very well. In regards to participation, we had a lot of the clubs participating. We have few walkovers due to exams and injuries for the teams that were based in schools. But apart from that, generally everybody played well. Previously we could say, okay, Scholars will win, Bulls will win. But this year we had to wait to the last day and virtually like the last 10 minutes to decide this. Because 10 minutes before the game, it was 22-22 Bulls Scholars. Yeah.
All right. Must have been a top final. But Coach, congratulations to you once again.
Thank you, boss.
And in the course of the season, at what point did you believe you could win the championship? And after winning it, what does the win mean for you and your players?
Yeah, I've always believed we could win. But we just needed to keep that discipline. And the win means like a lot to me and the team because kicking off the first round of the league with a narrow win against Panthers, playing a draw against the new boys, which is Dragons, and kicking off the second round of the league with a lose against Panthers was a bit somehow, but I always believed we could do it, so it was up to me to, find that spark in the boys, and we kept it together, and we kept the discipline. We kept showing up for practice, and here we are today.
Right. Let me bring in the losing captain, Riddick. You got the better of them at a point in time in the season, and so I'm sure going into the finals, you thought you had it wrapped up. Was it complacency, or it was just a bad day for the Scholars in the finals?
I wouldn't say complacency for starters. This season has been one of our toughest seasons. And just to move back, I still believe we are the greatest club because we've been in this final 6 times and we won it 3 consecutive times. So we are not losers at all. Just have that
having that mentality, knowing that we can do it, was what actually pushed us to get there. The only thing is we've had a lot of challenges. We had a lot of injuries. We had some of our players leaving the country and all that. And for scholars, for the past 6 years, we've basically had about 90% of our players still playing. So we've not done a lot of recruitment, having new players in there. So some of our players are getting old and all that. But we just showed up to do our best. And gladly we got in the final. So for us, it's not a failure or it's not a big shortcoming. We just couldn't produce in the final. We put in a good game. The odds were not in our favor. That's all I'll say.
Right. I see you are carrying an injury. Must have been a tough final.
It was a tough final. On the day of the game, one of our players actually got into an accident.
Wow.
So we were really down. And we had a lot against us. But for us, I keep saying our values are determination and commitment. So once we show up on the field, we do our best. Going in, we were very skeptical. We didn't know how it would turn out. But during the game, we realized we actually had a chance. So when it was 22-all, we realized we had a chance. But the last 9 minutes, as coach said, the last 10 minutes is what caused us. And I'll attribute that to a bit of discipline on our side, where we lost our heads and all that, and also due to injuries and all. But again, I think it was a befitting final, because a final has to show everything the season has to offer or offered the people. So it was a very befitting final. It was a tough one. The fans enjoyed it.
So how many months are you going to be out?
Doctors are saying 8 weeks, but it has to be earlier because there's another championship coming up. So we need to be ready for it.
Get well soon. But let me come back to coach. Coach, how did you do it? Scholars clearly look like a very good team as well. They look like a team that could, push you all the way. They did push you all the way. How did you finally overcome that grueling game, 22-all? How did you finally get that last ball in to carry the day?
So going into the final, I think we met Scholars before the playoffs, which we handed them the biggest defeat ever in their 34-1. 34-1. So
34-1.
Yeah, 34-1.
Scholars, you didn't go to play. You didn't play.
That has been one of our hardest defeats.
Yeah.
34-1, but it happens.
Right.
It happens.
34-1, and you can imagine how the one came about. Our defense was like so tight. Scholars had to settle for 1 point. So going into the final, the confidence was there. The confidence was there, like true and true, and we capitalize on that. And also, I've always stressed on mentality as a player. If things are going well, you still need to maintain the structure. If things are going bad, you still need to maintain. And that worked for us. We kept our discipline. We kept going. We didn't stop. Yeah.
Right. So I'm joined in studio by the members of the Rugby League Federation of Ghana. They've just concluded their season, and I'm in studio with the coach of the winning team, the Bulls, Coach Zaki, and captain of the Scholars, the losing team, the losing finalist, Riddick Aliba, and then Jafaru Mustafa is the general secretary or the general manager of the Rugby League Federation Ghana. They are all in studio with me. We are having a chat around rugby. So if you don't know, there's a rugby federation, there's a rugby league federation here in Ghana, and if you want to join them, before we leave, I'm sure Jafar will tell us how you can become a member of this federation. But let me pick your thoughts, Riddick. Where do you go from here? After this defeat, what next for the Scholars? What's the plan? What's the way forward for next season?
For Scholars, we just need to regroup. The coming season for us is to get a new crop of players, fresh blood for
I'm available.
Welcome. You're welcome. We just need to get a new crop of players to come and join the biggest fraternity. I keep saying we are a family, so we want people to join in, and we are really looking at getting young bloods in there, because again, our players we've played for a long time, and some of them. An interesting thing for me was one of our players who decided to play his last final, Chris Dagama. And he had an amazing day. He played very well in the final because he's trying to move over to the officiating side fully. So this was his last game, and he had a great. Unfortunately, we couldn't win for him, but it was a great day. So next season, we are getting a lot more fresh blood, trying to inculcate the spirit of scholars in them, and hopefully we'll come back on top. As I said, we've never left the throne. Right. Our West has been second, so we've never been really bothered about anything. So on a bad day, we are second. On the best day, we are first. So we are really never worried. We just want to come back and keep doing our best.
Fantastic. So the Scholars have an aging team, and most of their players have retired. Some of them will be going on pension. So Scholars have the SNIT team. Hopefully they get some fresh blood into that squad ahead of next season. But for the Bulls, what next for you? What should we expect from you? It's back-to-back wins. Are you going to make it number 3 next season?
Yeah, for Bulls, we are not stopping. We are not stopping anytime soon. Like Riddick said, they are regrouping. We are also regrouping. So we are not stopping at all. Yeah.
Right. And Jafaru, I know there's supposed to be a test match between Ghana and Nigeria. That's correct?
Yes, please.
Yes. When is it happening? And why that test game?
Okay, so Nigeria will be playing Ghana from October 4th to October 12th. We are playing in 3 test matches. October 4th, October 7th, and then October 4th. This match is basically to first get the Nigerians who are going to play a World Cup qualifier in Nigeria to test the strength of their team.
Okay.
They've qualified. If they go to that qualifier and they win, they are going to the World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, so they want to test their pulse, and they decided to call on Ghana to come and give them a test around for their money. And aside that, for Ghana, we are trying to build a young team because next year we intend to play in the qualifiers and win. So we've assembled a young crop of players, averagely from 18 years, 17 to 19 years, to get them ready for next year, because we've seen what it comes with. In Nigeria, they are getting 2 rugby fields just because they've qualified.
Wow.
And things are looking good for them because they've put in the work. So we believe we are going to put in the work, and next year hopefully Ghana should be up there.
Right. There are lots of people listening to us who want to join the Rugby League Federation of Ghana. How do they get in touch with you? How do they become members of the federation?
Okay, so you join basically by giving us a call, 02024 99699, 02024 or go to all our social media handles, Rugby League Federation Ghana. We will reply to your messages.
Right. Final words from you, Riddick.
Wishing the ladies going to Nigeria all the best.
Okay.
And a big congratulations to Bulls for their win.
That's an honourable thing to do.
Oh yes, it's a befitting win for us. Once you deserve it, you have it. So they deserve it, and it was a good game from them. Thank you for giving us a run for our money. So to our girls going to Nigeria, we wish them all the best, and hopefully this meet will change the scope for rugby league in Ghana. We are all for growth, and we always implore on people to support us. So once you are interested, go to rugby league pages or on all social media platforms. Just type in Rugby League Federation and you see us there. There's a lot more we have to offer. So thank you to you, and Sporty, thank you as well for having us.
You're welcome. And Kojaki, final words?
Riddick, thank you. Thank you. Riddick is one person I respect a lot.
Are you going to sign him for the Bulls?
Sure. He's welcome. He's welcome. Even though things were not going well for his team, but he kept leading them from the front, and I saw that in him, and I respect him for that. And I hope our players will learn from Riddick. Yeah, and thanks for having us, and I wish the ladies to all the best.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Right. Jafaru, I think you've had your final word. Oh, you okay? One last.
So
thing.
one final word. Riddick is going to coach the team in Nigeria.
He's going to coach the ladies.
Yes, in Nigeria. He's their coach.
He doesn't have the full hands. So,
yeah. He's a coach. He's not playing. So he'll be coaching them in Nigeria. We are also looking for sponsorship for the ladies. We are doing sponsor a player. So you just pick one player and then sponsor the player.
Okay, then let me come and look at the players and see which one.
Yes.
Come on Sunday. We'll be training on Sunday.
We'll share a flyer soon, so you get to see them.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So I was joined in studio by Jafaru Audu Mustafa, is the General Manager, Rugby League Federation Ghana, and also joined by Captain of the Scoreless, Riddick Aliba, and also Nasiru Aminu, aka Zaki, the coach of the Bulls. Gentlemen, once again, a big thank you to you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Welcome.
And this has been another interesting edition of Sporty Breakfast. Sporty Breakfast has been live on Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 FM in Kumasi. Up next, in the next 4 minutes, Nathan Kwa will bring you Inside French Football. The program